Hello, accountability buddies. This is Les with another episode of Less is More Healthy. Sorry that intro felt a bit rushed. Um, what am I talking about today? Today, I kind of want to I'm just finishing up some errands here. Um, I'm headed into work, and I did not get my stuff in gear to get out the door early enough to do exercise before running the work errands. Officially, technically, I'm on the clock now since I was doing work. It's all beside the point. Um, so I, um, I think this is just not going to be something I'm going to be able to do, and I need to accept that moving forward and figure out what I'm going to do in the afternoons after work to get some exercise in, which is why the weather report is important because it's going to hit 80, 90 degrees today, and walking in that kind of heat is brutal. Riding in that kind of heat is also brutal. Um, but what I wanted to talk about today is changing, breaking, adapting eating habits. I had a realization today that my old eating habits are something I revert back to without even thinking about it. Kind of want to talk about a couple of the things that have led to those eating habits because they are impacting me today. So, growing up, I think I've mentioned that we were, definitely working class income, lower end of the income. I know we didn't always qualify for welfare, but there were times when we were on it. Um, and with that being said, food was all we always had enough food on the table, but you didn't waste it. So like whatever you took from the pot and put on your plate, you had to clear. You had to clear your plate. You weren't throwing food away in our house growing up. And when I was young, like that wasn't a big deal because my mom was like putting my portions on my plate and they were appropriate. They were child size. Um, is when I got older that my eyes definitely got bigger than my stomach. Um, and I would take really more than I needed. Or, when I was playing sports, I was always hungry, so I was eating massive amounts of food. Um, and so, there was also a bit of a scarcity mindset there because, sometimes there would be enough made for everyone, but just enough. And if you were still hungry, after everyone had gotten their food, there was none left. And so you had to have a good idea of how much food you needed at the start from go. So oftentimes, you would take more than what you would need or want, and then you'd have to eat all that, which wasn't a huge problem when I was a teenager because I was playing sports and I was exercising, I was moving, and I don't know that I ever gained weight as a teenager. Um, so that's one thing that has like set me up for taking larger portions than I need. The other thing that's impacted me a lot, and surprisingly how much it's impacted me, is I've had a couple of jobs where I've had a 30-minute lunch break, which is more than enough to eat. But if you work in a place where there's often business conducted over lunch break, or people feel comfortable interrupting your lunch break, um, then that becomes a problem. So, as an example, like when I was teaching, I didn't even get a lunch break on some days. I was expected to take my lunch into the lunchroom and patrol the lunchroom to make sure that the kids weren't misbehaving. So I was walking around the lunchroom eating a sandwich. And that just caused me to basically eat everything very, very fast. And the same with the 30-minute lunch breaks that were continually interrupted by coworkers, even if I was in the break room. And there was always some work related question that I was being asked. So, in those senses, like sometimes I would go for a walk when I was clocked out, eat my lunch while I was walking, or go eat in my car and then take the last 20 minutes to walk. So that just taught me to eat incredibly quickly. Um, just to really like suck down the food. And yeah, so that was those two things, eating a lot and eating quickly, are really wreaking havoc on my stomach right now. um, the big problem that I'm having right now is that I'm getting queasy because I'm eating too much. And the ribelsis is the way that it acts on your stomach is it you if you eat properly and slowly, you will eat less because you are full. But feeling full takes a few minutes. And so if you're someone who is eating your entire meal in 10 minutes and your stomach needs 20 minutes to feel full, um, that's a problem because you're eating more. And then by the time 20 minutes rolls around, uh, your stomach is upset. Also, it causes digestion to slow a little bit, and so that can cause some stomach upset. So what I'm relearning how to do is portion control again, and it comes back to that again and again and again for me. Portion control has been a long-term historic problem for me, and how I eat. I have continually had some like issues with watching my portions. And because of that, eating larger portions and eating them too quickly, I think the ribelsis is not working as well as it could, especially if I am not exercising. I think that exercise has been kind of a big deal in letting me feel better, and my body like working better. So the difficult thing for me is doing smaller portions, smaller amounts, and then you know not eating too quickly. So smaller portions, not eating quickly, are all super important things that I am definitely struggling with right now. Case in point is um, that I hit have been um, I've been having a shake in the morning, and to make the shake um, taste good, you really have to have enough water in it. And if you don't add enough water, then the shake is just not going to taste good. It's going to be gritty. The protein powder isn't going to hydrate properly, and it's just not going to have a good texture. And the flavor is like, for me, is impacted by the texture. But 12 ounces of a beverage is too much for my stomach. So like right now, my stomach's pretty queasy, because I did make myself a shake this morning, and I've been skipping it a lot of mornings and having a protein bar instead. The downside of that is that the protein bar is a like 1-to-1 protein to um, carb blend, and it's not as many calories, which is fine, except for the fact that I get hungry before lunch. And one of the things with bribelsis is you don't, like, it's supposed to help you not feel hungry until lunch. Um, and not have cravings, because like I've been having mad cravings for carbs. Um, and that's been happening in the afternoon, but that's a whole other topic. Um, so yeah, so I'm just like kind of struggling with that whole portion control, like giving myself the right amount of food at the right time, and then On top of that, eating too fast. So I'm really trying to slow myself down as I'm eating so that my body can actually feel full when I am full instead of just not feeling full because I'm eating too quickly. And that's been pretty rough. Trying to break 30 years worth of eating habits is pretty hard. So yep, that's what I've been thinking about is like those eating habits that I've learned over the years that are not healthy, um, and are continuing to increase my food struggles. So I'm wondering, like, do any of you have any struggles with like ingrained? Oh, come on, ingrained eating habits that perhaps you've learned um, over the years, and like how are you coping with that? um, are there things that you've done to assist you in changing old habits, especially eating habits? Like that's what I'm really thinking about, like, is those eating habits and how they've impacted me over the years. So hopefully you found this helpful. Um, Maybe it gives you some insight into your eating habits. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. I don't know you. Um, but um, with that, I thank you for watching. Interested in what you have to say about these sorts of things. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.